Hey guys, let's get more news about Warriors, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Los Angeles Lakers linked to Golden State Warriors 12-time All-Star in potential blockbuster trade. The Los Angeles Lakers will be looking to make a splash this summer after yet another disappointing 2023-24 campaign. Apparently, this could come in the form of a blockbuster trade deal with the Golden State Warriors, one that is centered around 12-time All-Star Chris Paul. NBA insider Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report dropped a bombshell on Tuesday about the Lakers potentially making a move on Paul this summer, @tip Legion Hoops on X, formerly Twitter. While the details of this potential swap remain unclear, it is worth noting that Paul is still under contract with the Warriors through 2025. He is entering the final season of his current deal, wherein the 39-year-old is set to pocket $30 million. CP3 will not be a free agent this summer, which means that the only way the Lakers will be able to acquire him is if they agree on some sort of trade deal with the Warriors. That is, unless Paul gets his contract bought out by Golden State. There's no denying that Chris Paul is no longer the superstar he once was, and that at this point, he is already at the twilight of his career. However, as we've seen from him this past season with the Dubs, the 11-time All-NBA guard still has a lot of gas left in the tank. He won't be the savior for LeBron and the Lakers, but he could be the elite playmaker this team has been in dire need of. The fact that CP3 is close friends with James will likely play a factor in this potential swoop as well. Ex-Warriors GM Bob Myers reveals Kerr's greatest strength. Steve Kerr is a man of many talents. He has won 9 NBA championships, 5 as a 15-year player and 4 as the Warriors coach of 10 seasons, and always stands up for what he believes in. When examining what the 58-year-old has accomplished, one has their pick as to what Kerr's greatest strength could be. In talking to 95.7 The Game's Steiny and Guru on Tuesday, former Golden State general manager and president of basketball operations Bob Myers gave his answer. His poise, Myers told Matt Steinmetz and Daryl Johnson. I say that as the season goes on, and the playoffs come along, the leadership around your coach, the poise in the huddle. I remember personally going through the 2015 NBA playoffs with him. Everybody thinks during these high-pressure moments they're going to be fine. People say, I'm built for this. I don't even know what means. There are very few people built for that kind of pressure. For me, to walk alongside Steve, obviously, I wasn't coaching or doing anything to see his poise in 15. Myers was emphatic about Kerr's self-control and confidence during the Warriors' successful 2015 NBA Finals run, which was the beginning of a dynastic decade. That run marked the turning of a new leaf for Golden State, as the then-rookie coach Kerr led the up-and-coming trio of Steph Curry, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green past LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers for the Warriors' first of 4 titles in an 8-season span. Myers had the ultimate level of trust in Kerr's abilities as a coach and confirmed his belief in 2015. But Kerr's big-time performances as a player also stood out to the former front office member. I mean, this is a guy that hit a huge shot with Michael Jordan passing him the ball, Myers added, like a proud fan. I would have bricked that thing. That takes some real guts to do what he did as a player. For me and the organization to watch him lead calmly in the playoffs, and I think for players, getting to the finals, everything gets elevated. 4 players that hadn't been there before to look in Steve's eyes in the huddles, in the shoot-around, in the finals, there's no one better than Steve, I think, at saying, okay. This is what we're gonna do. And you believe him. You believe him when he says things, because he's been there. Kerr has lived a full basketball life, which continuously helps him earn the trust of his players as a coach in the heat of battle. Myers' citation of Kerr's ice-cold game-winning three-pointer in Game 6 of the 1997 NBA Finals, which came off an assist from Jordan, is the icing on the cake to Myers' point. Kerr's poise is hard to match for coaches across the NBA. Yet, Myers still had more to acknowledge about the player-turned-coach. And Kerr has the strength of character, Myers concluded. Like, as a partner for me, if I'm being selfish, I would say that just having someone that I respect and that is decent around me every day, it's hard to find. Coaches are different types of dudes. So just to have a really quality person for me was unbelievable. Myers and Kerr were partners with the Warriors nearly for a decade. They accomplished a lot together as great friends and co-workers and helped change Golden State and the NBA. Perhaps none of it would have been possible if not for Kerr's collectedness. Blockbuster trade proposal sends Kevin Durant back to Warriors, Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, and Moses Moody to Suns. One NBA writer proposed that the Golden State Warriors acquire Kevin Durant from the Phoenix Suns this offseason. Grant Hughes of Bleacher Report proposed the following trade idea between the Warriors and Suns. The Golden State Warriors acquire Kevin Durant from the Phoenix Suns for Andrew Wiggins, Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, and a 2025 first-round pick. Durant averaged 27.1 points, 6.6 rebounds, and 5.0 assists for the Suns this season while shooting 52.3% from the field, 41.3% from beyond the arc and 85.6% from the free throw line. He was 7th in the NBA in points and 5th in points per game. The Suns were swept by the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round of the 2024 playoffs after going 49-33 during the regular season. They fired Frank Vogel after one season and hired Mike Budenholzer. Despite having Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, the Warriors didn't make the playoffs this year. Durant played for Golden State from 2016-17 to 2018-19. KD won 2 championships and 2 Finals MVPs before leaving for the Brooklyn Nets in 2019. Durant will make $49.9 million next season and $53.3 million in 2025-26. Since leaving the Warriors, Durant has won just 2 playoff series. He's been swept twice in the first round of the postseason. The Suns will push for an additional 2027 first-round pick, the only other one the Warriors can include, assuming this deal goes down on draft night, Hughes wrote. Meanwhile, the Dubs will try to swap in someone like Brandon Podziemski for Kuminga, whom the organization has labeled untouchable. In addition to those negotiating sticking points, Golden State is still taking on about $3 million more in salary than is allowed, and that's assuming it doesn't include Kevin Looney's non-guaranteed $8 million salary for 2024-25. Put all those hang-ups aside and consider, though, that the Warriors are one of very few teams more tied to an immediate win-now timeline than the Suns. Curry has 2 more years on his deal, and it seems clear the organization is committed to surrounding him with a competitive team. Durant will turn 36 before next season starts and comes with health risks, but he's probably the more valuable short-term contributor than Kuminga, Wiggins, or Moody. Would Phoenix admit its mistake in trading for KD so soon? Probably not. But that doesn't change reality. The Suns are extremely expensive, inflexible, and in for a long stretch of ugly seasons if and when their 3 max players decline or break up. A Durant trade is the only way to soften the landing over the latter half of this decade. It'd replenish the team's stock of young players, picks, and depth. One of the greatest scorers in NBA history, Durant averaged 25.8 points, 7.1 rebounds, and 5.4 assists in 208 games with the Warriors. Phoenix gets to go into 2024-25 with 2 max-level stars, Devin Booker and Bradley Beal, and 3 new combo forwards in its rotation, Hughes wrote. The roster suddenly makes much more sense, and Kuminga's upside provides some down-the-road optimism. Meanwhile, the Warriors lean all the way into the last-ride narrative by bringing KD back to function as a savior rather than the bandwagon-hopping free agent acquisition he was in 2016. And you fan? What do you think of the situation of Kevin Durant? Leave your opinion in the comments.